Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, we want to take a look at the shorter time frame today, and I took a look at the daily chart earlier today, and I think even in the last video yesterday, and we will do that tomorrow again. But today, you know, the short term is so interesting. We are dealing with a situation in which those trend lines that I showed you in the previous videos here, a little bit like a laser show, I know, but they are holding and they have guided us higher to a possible breakout point. And this is key. So from an Elliott Wave point of view, we can say that the move to the upside from the 5th of July low, while it is certainly impressive, it is, well, not unusual, not unexpected, given that we've taken a look at so many bullish signals in the last few days, like the RSI bullish divergence, trendline breakouts on the RSI, the MACD bullish crosses, trendline breakouts, and so on. So it's not, you know, surprising. But the market hasn't really proven anything. I think that's key. It hasn't really proven anything. What do I mean with that? Well, I mean, the move up is impressive. It's too high for a reliable B wave that we talked about. Like from a bearish point of view, this could be a B wave. It's a 3-wave rally, you know, from that 5th of July low. So it could always easily break down, and we need the 5 waves. And if I talk about, okay, it hasn't proven anything, well, I need to see those 5 waves. You know, if I don't get the 5-wave move to the upside, I cannot confirm that the larger 4th wave has indeed bottomed on the 5th of July. So that's really what we need to see. Everybody should know that by now. So it hasn't proven anything. For me personally, tactically speaking, I bought, I think, 3 sets of positions, small positions here in that range, 4 even. Can't exactly remember where it was. It was in the support region. So I haven't done anything aggressive on the long side, even though the trend line breakout here was definitely a signal and a setup I highlighted. Remember, we talked about this, and this trend line has been on the chart for a while. Actually had a look through our X profile earlier today, and just to see what's been posted, you know, recently. And the trend line signal got posted here on the 14th of July, and I highlighted that we are now approaching this red trend line. See, this was when we were below the trend line. The price is approaching the red trend line. Pay attention to an upside breakout, and we had 3 touch points. Talked about it. And it broke out, and it has not stopped since. So this could have been a breakout trade setup. Well, it was, right? Some of you might have used it. But I've bought, you know, casually into the support region. By the way, if you want to have, you know, additional updates throughout the day, you can follow us here on X. Just make sure that you follow the correct account. You find the links in the description. To get back to the live chart, actually. But I just bought casually into the support zone. Now, I'm happy to wait for a 1-2 setup now to do anything more aggressively bullish, because, or on the long side, because we have a 1, 2, 3. So these positions are now all in profit. If we get a 4-5, well, you know, then we have a first confirmation that a low is in place. And then it might be worth watching for a 3-wave pullback. And then there will be a support zone. And then, you know, this could be like a long trade area, okay? But we need that additional 4-5 pattern. Now, of course, if someone didn't buy at all anything or whatever, or if you're not positioned at all, well, then the question needs to be why. And, well, I guess then you feel some FOMO, right? That's normal. And then, you know, there's no easy answer to that. But then the next pullback will come. Right? It might take a little while, but the next pullback will happen. And could be the next opportunity. And obviously here, this is now an interesting spot. I have to say it is a really, really interesting spot. Why? Because we've arrived at the breakout point, at the next breakout point. I mean, if you want to trade this breakout, up to you, right? I mean, it's now overextended to the upside. Okay, so that's the thing. But the advantage is you could just set a stop below the green trend line or so, or below this trend, or below the last swing low. So there are many ways how you could handle that. But we're at the next breakout point. Now, this is not, here I was quite confident that if we break the trend line, there could be a bit of a surge because we had 3 touch points. It's now obviously extended to the upside. So the reward to risk profile isn't maybe, it's not necessarily as good as it was down here. So, and this is also a perfect spot to get rejected and to start the wave 4 pullback. Okay, so obviously in the white count we need that additional 4-5 pattern, but there is no sign of a wave 4 pullback yet. But if a wave 4 starts from here, I mean, I can move it a little bit higher, but it, Bitcoin should find support in the region around 59K. That would be ideal. 59, 60K, that would be ideal. So it's a long way down. The trend lines, and there are 3 of them, they can provide immediate support. They may provide some support, but it's definitely worth watching now this 63.8K level. I mean, maybe it's already broken out. We're now approaching the daily candle and we're approaching a key breakout point. Well, we are consolidating just below that breakout point. I find that very interesting because we are just squeezed between an ascending trend line and the upside breakout point. And you can see, you feel the pressure, right? So something is going to happen. And I mean, a break below the green trend line could send us to the next trend line, to the next trend line, into the support region, whereas an upside breakout could send us to 65K next, and then the fib level afterwards is 67,280. So, there's no way of saying where the third wave will end. It's done what it needs to do. It's even a bit extended, and we just have to, just go with the trend, right? And the trend lines hold at the moment, but there are supports below, with these green trend lines. And obviously what I use for Elliott Wave mainly is the Fibonacci support area. But the main reason to put trend lines on here is because the micro count is, in this C wave to the upside, it is a bit ambiguous. So, I mean, it might even be worth putting the 3rd here and the 4th here, but it's not so clear. So you need something to tell you when a possible downtrend is starting. And you don't want to wait until the price gets into the support region. Well, if you bought here or whatever for a long, you need some signal, right? You can't say, okay, when do I know we are in the wave 4? It will take a little while. So you need some triggers, some signals, just highlighting these trend lines, also because they obviously offer some support. And when we are in the third wave or an upside impulse, extensions happen, and it's best to just go with a trend. And trend lines or even moving averages in these instances can provide a good way of tracking the trend. So simple moving average cross strategy, for example, where you have 2 moving averages, and as long as they have crossed bullish, you go with the trend, and then when they cross bearish, you can just sort of get out or whatever. But yeah, I think this is going to be interesting for today. So watch that yellow line, and then I think the targets to both, support levels and next upside levels are clear. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.